So I decided that for today's video, the best thing to do would be to take a look at the news and, read through some articles and maybe give some opinions. But just as a quick disclaimer, the opinions are my own, so don't get offended if it doesn't agree with yours. And also, if you're wondering why, for someone with an American accent, that I'm looking at a British news website, I guess, that's because I am actually based in the UK, so that would explain that. But anyways, let's get into this video. So I'm thinking, okay, we won't do COVID because just no one has any time to get depressed. But I guess with that logic, we probably shouldn't look at climate either. Let's start with business. Let's see what's going on there. Okay. Let's see what this one says. Wine drinkers face higher prices and less choice, firm warns. Sounds pretty serious. Proposed changes to alcohol duty will lead to higher prices and less choice for wine drinkers, the owner of a wine merchant, Laithwaites, has warned. Doesn't sound good at all. Let's see what else it says. The proposals contained in October's budget were described by Chancellor Rishi Sunak as the most radical simplification of alcohol duties for over 140 years. It's pretty crazy. Let's try to find something less I don't know, I guess with a positive sentiment. I think that would probably be ideal. Let's try to find something. You know what? Let's go into entertainment and arts. Okay, well, this one's not really positive. Let's see. Neither is that. I'm starting to realize bad news seems to be more popular than positive news. I guess maybe that's it's an interesting thing. I guess it's always been that way, but I've never really paid attention as to I guess the overall sentiment of news articles. Oh, here we go. Let's see what this one is. Joe Jenkins, YouTube star on piano playing popularity. Now, I'm not going to play the video because there'll be sound and we don't want to, actually, you know what? There we go. Done. Sorted. I mean, I know it's a bit pointless because obviously he's playing the piano, but at least we get to see what's actually happening. It's pretty cool. So I guess this guy goes and plays the piano in all types of locations. Oh wow. Yeah. It's pretty cool. The 20-year-old from Bristol has gained 3.9 million subscribers playing songs from video games, films, memes, and anime shows in unusual places. He's taken his piano on a boat outside Buckingham Palace and even in a hot air balloon. It's pretty cool. Props. Honestly, props. Let's see. Let's go sport and see what's happening. By the way, of course, I guess for people that are, based in Europe, or I guess, like the Asian side and stuff like that, you or South America as well, you might not be interested in some of these sports, because I know in America the preference is, hockey, football, uh, baseball, NBA. So I guess, yeah, just something to think about. Let's start with football. And let's see what we can find. Now, this seems like a positive sentiment. Let's Christian Eriksen, former Tottenham midfielder, joins Brentford on 6-month deal. Brentford have signed Denmark and former Tottenham midfielder Christian Eriksen on a 6-month deal. Eriksen has not played since suffering a cardiac arrest during Denmark's match against Finland at Euro 2020 last June. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, so, wow, okay, so I'm guessing it was, given it's Denmark and Finland, I'm guessing it's like an international tournament, and, yeah, I guess he had a heart attack, yeah, during the game. That must have been crazy. Yeah, wow, okay. Well, good stuff to see that he's back, and, he's playing again, I guess. I wonder if was he recovering all that time? I mean, Euro 2020, last June, when it was published 12 hours ago. Okay, so I'm guessing the tournament got delayed because of COVID, and with that logic, it would have been played in June 2021. So I wonder, maybe he was recovering for the last 6 months. Wow, that's pretty crazy. But overall, good sentiment. Good to see that he's back, and yeah, good to see that he's back. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's read a bit more, see what else there is. After leaving Inter, Eriksen started training alone at Danish side Odense Bold Club, where he was previously a youth player. Okay, so that basically that basically, I guess, explains my question, and outlined his aspirations of resuming his playing career in order to play for Denmark at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. That's pretty good. It's pretty cool. It'd be great to see if if he continues to do well, and he actually, I'm guessing, I don't know, like, I know Inter is like, that's one of the I think it's one of the better Italian teams. It's one of the Milans. There's this one, and then there's like AC Milan. So Inter's got the colors are like blue and black, maybe, and I know AC is like red and black. And they have like a rivalry going on. So he must be quite a good player. If he's if he played for Inter, and I don't know. Let's see what some of these. He joined Inter in 2020 following a 7-year spell at Tottenham, during which he scored 69 goals in 305 games and helped the club reach a final. Yeah, so I guess he's pretty good then. Yeah, you'd think so. That's great stuff, to be honest. Let's click on. I'll do one more sport, and then we'll move on. Let's click on this one. It's like the newest story. story. Formula One to make COVID-19 vaccines mandatory for all personnel this year. Formula One is to make COVID-19 vaccines mandatory for all personnel this year. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, just for the record, I am double vaccinated, but I don't know how I feel about making it mandatory, because I'm not saying this is the case, but if someone really didn't want to, for whatever reason, I feel they should have a choice. They should be allowed to not want to do something if they don't want to do something. And obviously I understand the whole premise of like the benefits of doing it outside of simply taking it to be sheltered. I understand the economic benefits and businesses and healthcare services and all that stuff. I just don't think it should be forced, and it's actually one of the things that I think is going to get dropped in the UK, because over here I know they were going to impose that. Don't quote me on this because I don't know the exact terminology, but I think it was doctors or nurses, or doctors and nurses. At some point, it was going to be mandatory that they have the jab, or I guess they'd have to quit otherwise. But I think I read that they were going to scrap that, and they're not going to do that anymore, which I think is the right move, because I actually met a doctor. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, and he wasn't vaccinated, and he deals with all types of people, vaccinated, unvaccinated. He's a doctor. He just he helps people out, and he was essentially telling me that if it comes to a situation where they force you, that he would honestly consider quitting, even though as I'm sure around most parts of the world, it's one of those things where you can't just become a doctor with a flick of a finger, or even a 1-year, 2-year course. Usually you're sat there for I don't know how long it is in the UK, but I think here it takes about 6 years or so to just be a doctor, and even in that regard, you, I think, get classified initially as a junior doctor, and yeah, so I guess it's crazy to think that someone would rather quit their job than be forced into a decision, which I guess some people could call that stupidity. Others would call it they would see the value in how a person could stay so well equipped towards their own principles, their own belief systems, and I guess so in a way it's admirable, but I guess it depends on the person. But let's continue reading. The move will mean no one will be able to work within the paddock, F1's inner sanctum, where the teams operate without being fully vaccinated. The policy will apply to all personnel working within F1, including drivers, teams, media, hospitality workers, and any guests who attend the races. It is not expected to have an impact on any of the drivers' ability to compete, as all are understood to be vaccinated. Double vaccination was a requirement of entry to the USA for last year's US Grand Prix in Austin, Texas. Let's see. We'll go news. We'll go England, given that's where I'm currently sat. So let's see what we can find. We'll do 1 or 2 more. I think let's click on this one, because there's been a lot of drama here in the UK, because basically the Prime Minister's being accused of attending parties during one of the COVID lockdowns, and I wouldn't even call it accused. accused. He's basically been proven to have like attended and like he's been at the parties. I think I read somewhere that like his wife was at the party, and I think like one of the reasons such drama, obviously, if you ignore the fact that everyone was like sitting indoors, people couldn't see loved ones that were going through a tough time. People couldn't be there at their parents' funeral, grandparents' funeral. So there were lots going on, and especially you need to remember like that like they were setting the rules. So I think that's part of what infuriates the public to such a degree is that you're setting the rules, people are following them, they'll get prosecuted if they're not following them, and then you're out there breaking them. But let's see what's going on. Just some backstory. So Sue Gray is like doing, and they call an inquiry here, and she's basically investigating. Like she's investigating the allegations and stuff. Anyways, I think earlier today her report came out. So let's take a quick look. Sue Gray, failure of leadership over Downing Street lockdown parties. Sue Gray has blamed a failure of leadership for allowing parties to take place in Downing Street when the country was under strict lockdown. In long-awaited findings, the senior civil servant says some events should not have been allowed to take place. Ms. Gray investigates 16 separate gatherings. 16 gatherings. I mean, like, you can claim one was like not a party. You can say it was like, oh, it was a meeting, or it was this, right? You can say two was, I guess something else. I don't know, make something up. But I mean, like 16. It's kind of hard to I don't know to talk you about that one. But from what I understand, like the Prime Minister has like been trying to talk his way out of it, and he just keeps denying it. Anyways, so 16 separate gatherings, including 3 that were not previously known about. I mean, that's bad. Anyways, Boris Johnson said he accepted the findings in full, as he faced questions and criticisms from MPs. Oh, okay, so I guess that's the latest update. He has actually accepted the findings. But what are the findings? In Miss Gray's findings, she confirms that the Metropolitan Police is investigating 12 events on 8 separate dates for alleged COVID rule breaking. I mean, 12 events on 8 days. I mean, like, with that logic, like, you're basically... So you're telling me that there were some days where they had, like, 2 parties, like, okay, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't even go to 2 parties in a day. That's, I mean, I guess I need to get into politics. These include the 20 May 2020 Bring Your Own Booze. I mean, there's no way they labeled it that. I struggle to believe that's what they labeled it. Anyways, event in the Downing Street Garden. I mean, look, their office has a garden that just says it all. It's great. Anyways, which the MP has apologized for attending, and the MP's birthday party on 19 June 2020. And the police are also investigating a gathering on 13 November 2020 at Mr. Johnson's Downing Street flat. So I mean, that they've been having parties everywhere throughout the year. You've got May, you've got June, you've got November. I know for a fact there's a Christmas one, because that was like the rave, is the fact that like one was happening or a couple happened around the Christmas period. Yeah, I mean, wow. Pretty crazy. Let's see. Yes, okay. So just because this is the one I was talking about, let's see it, and after that, I guess we'll call it a day. COVID. Ministers plan to scrap NHS jab requirement for England. Ministers plan to scrap a legal requirement for frontline NHS staff in England to be vaccinated against COVID. Health Secretary Sajid I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, Sajid Javid, has said. Like, I don't know why I was struggling to read that for some reason. Anyways, he told MPs ending the policy, which also affects social care staff, was now under consultation in light of the fast-spreading Omicron variant. I think definitely just as I mentioned, it's like 11 p.m. here, and I've been awake since about 7 a.m. So I'm gonna claim I'm just ridiculously tired at this point. It's definitely nothing else. The policy announced last year meant frontline NHS workers in England would have had to be fully vaccinated by 1st of April, needing a first jab by Thursday. That's crazy. The deadline is no longer applicable. Staff had faced redeployment or dismissal, prompting protests against the policy and some NHS workers considering moves to other UK nations. I mean, that is crazy, especially when, the one thing that I feel like, at the very least, one of the many things we've learned from COVID is how much we rely on our health systems. I mean, imagine how bad things would have gotten if we didn't actually have health systems around the world that were functioning. And even now, there are parts of the world where they're not fully functioning. And I guess it's a duty globally to support and aid where each country and each person can. But regardless, I think that's been a good session. I mean, if this goes down well, if I even, if one person even enjoys this video, it was pretty easy to make. It was actually pretty enjoyable for me as well. It's always good to read stuff and to, I guess, see what's going on in the world. Maybe next time, for the next one of these videos, I'll do a different website. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.